Welcome to Cruising Altitude, the podcast where we rise above the turbulence of life and step into the freedom, clarity, and luxury of living life at our highest level. I'm Kelly O'Shea, business development consultant, private jet advisor, investor relations specialist, author, solo mom, and living proof that you can crash into life's turbulence, pick up the pieces, and still arrive in style. Whether you're navigating business, healing, or building a life that feels limitless, this is your boarding pass to living a life you were brave enough to chase. So buckle up, we're ready for takeoff. And welcome to episode 2 of Cruising Altitude, blooming boldly into kings and queens. And with me today is my trainer at BodyStreet, David Breitenbach. Thank you, David, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me here.
How are you today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. So I've been working out with you for a year and I feel and look amazing. It's honestly been all I have done this past year as I've been pivoting my career really and my life as a solo mom. It's not easy to go to the gym 2 days a week for 5 days a week like I was doing. And also after I got over 40, some of the workouts I was doing was really hindering me, like hindering my back, like running and just not, I know I wasn't using proper form. And it was interesting, even over the summer, I took some time off from BodyStreet and I went to the gym and did it on my own and I pulled a muscle. So, you know, not only do I look good, but I also feel really good. And I think it's also been a major part of my healing because they say that we store emotions like in our core sometimes, in our hips. And as I've been releasing a lot of my emotions and doing this alongside with chiropractic care, I really feel all that tightness inside my hips and low back really start to dissipate. So it's amazing. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear those great results.
Yeah. And so tell me, how long have you been doing EMS training?
We opened up 2 years ago, and I've been doing it for 2 years. And I do it once or twice a week maximum, and I haven't been in the gym ever. I used to work out every day, but the EMS training takes totally care of it.
Yeah, so 20 minutes is equivalent to 4 hours in the gym, is that correct?
About 3 hours.
About 3 hours,
Yeah.
okay. So this is also, is it hard to, get like athletes as clients that are so used to working out every day for them to get into that mentality of like, really, this is all I have to do?
Well, athletes, they also need to do the EMS, when they do the EMS training, they also need to implement the new gained strength and the functionality. But for for anybody that just wants to work out and just do their regular workouts, actually, it's more than enough.
Yeah, okay, and that's amazing. And where does this come, because I know you're from Germany, is that correct?
Yes.
And is this where the EMS comes from, the machines?
Yeah, so it started in about 2007 in Germany, BodyStreet, as well as the device that we use, which is from Mia Bodytech, so state-of-the-art machines.
Mm-hmm.
And it started about 2007, really with physiotherapy. I started physiotherapy, and we actually used it on our clients or on our patients first, but then it really started going into the fitness industry because of these great results.
Okay, interesting. And how did you get your start? When did you move to Florida, and what were you doing when you got here?
So I've always been a personal trainer and physiotherapist, but there was a time that I did Zumba fitness. So I was a dancer.
What's that? Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I gave group fitness classes, and I came to the United States in 2015, 2016.
Okay.
And then I just kept working, but eventually I went for personal training, corrective exercise, kind of gray zone area of physiotherapy, and just focused on that.
Okay. And you said 2 years ago you started BodyStreet.
2 years I started BodyStreet. Before that I was working in a country club, or in several country clubs, and then eventually at a country club where I had the majority of my clients, and I would work with them hand in hand with physiotherapists together. Again, I would work in that gray zone area, specializing, focusing on corrective exercise.
Okay, it's interesting. So, do you still have a lot of those clients from the country club? Do they come to you at BodyStreet?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of them come to me, and we do the corrective exercise at BodyStreet.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's always all about longevity. It's about functionality, strength, and coordination. That's what we need to maintain and enhance our daily activity of living. So a lot of my clients come with me, and I also still go to some of my clients at their home or at the country club.
Okay, so you will go to them. You can bring your machines.
Yes.
Okay, that's always good for the ultra high net worth private jet clients too.
That's right.
So, could you even bring this on a jet if a client wanted?
Technically, we could, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need a plug-in, and we could do the workout while we're flying.
So walk me through. So I know, but walk the guests through. So explain what happens when they come in and they have to get the suit, and then what you're doing, like what you're spraying with, and then what you connect them to. So how that all works.
Yeah, so you come in, we have a sportswear ready for you, which is a special material that absorbs the water, because water is our conductor.
Okay.
And so once you put that on, we'll strap you up with that suit. So it's to have straps around your arms, around your legs, especially your buttocks. And then, of course, the jacket that covers your whole core, chest, upper back, lower back, abs, side abs, obliques. Over 90% of your muscles are being worked out, other than your facial muscles. And so once we got you strapped up, we'll bring you to the machine, and there you have your workout guided by a trainer, and you're in and out in 30 minutes. The workout is 20 minutes. It's too good to be true, but it's true and good.
Yes. And why is it I feel mostly sore actually 48 hours after? Is that how long it takes typically?
Yeah, so usually like the second, third day is where you feel the soreness. Mm-hmm. But just like any regular workout, it will fade out, and if you keep doing it, then you feel that soreness less and less.
Right.
So it's like any workout. I mean, you feel the muscle contractions as if you would be working with weights. And then if you do a new exercise that you haven't done yet, you're going to feel a little bit sore. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with EMS training.
Interesting. And I also noticed this year, as I started to learn how to golf, this was very helpful for that also. Why is that?
Well, you're increasing your strength, and we hit fast twitch fibers. Those are the fibers that are responsible for explosive, fast movements. But then we're also hitting the slow twitch fibers, which are responsible for endurance and also stabilization. Mm-hmm. So when you play golf, you want to have a good, stable position, but then you also need power, especially for that driver.
Right.
And then in addition, you also get more flexible, and that's why the machine makes you work your muscles at the same time. So you always have the agonist and the antagonist working at the same time. So inadvertently, you're having contraction and a stretch. Mm-hmm. So we call it eccentric. Okay. So when you're eccentric is when the muscle is pulling itself together while it's actually being pulled apart. And that's an active stretch. So you will have more flexibility, more strength, and better balance, coordination. All of that contributes to a better swing in your golf game.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, do you know why I have? I mean, it's that great feeling, the next day, or just in general, that feels like my spine is just generally like loosening up, and all the areas that were really tight in my low back have started to feel a lot looser. Like throughout the day, I can feel little baby cracks where I used to be very jammed up. And I think it's a combination of many things, of course, like stretching, healing, no longer drinking alcohol, putting poison on your joints, all those things. But why do you think that is? What does the EMS like activate that causes?
Yeah, so again, you always have both parties working. So when we work out, a lot of things that happen is like you said, you can get yourself hurt by just the way you place your position, and then the weight of that impact through your joints. And then what happens a lot is we work out and there's no balance. What happens, disbalances. With EMS training, you have the pads front and in the back, so we always have the muscles work out. We stimulate them together, which brings much more balance in. And the muscles, they pull on the joints and align the spine or the joints in its right place.
Okay.
So that's what contributes and helps with that.
Okay. Interesting, thank you. Well, so the first chapter of my book is called Princess Kitty. So I wanted to call this episode "Blooming Boldly into Kings and Queens" because I have been on a major healing journey for the past 4 years since I stopped drinking, like I said, and this is a huge component of it. And for me, I've been trying to surround myself around the right people, right? Because a lot of my book is about really trying to make sense of why I chased men like my son's father who were like emotionally unavailable, right? And I went back to like childhood trauma, and you realize that when you have that type of trauma you start to chase like the wrong people, and that's in every aspect of your life, right, instead of like going for the nice people. So but I think I'm at a point in my life now where I try to, you surround yourself around people with positive energy, and I noticed with you have this king mentality, and I love it. We were at BodyStreet one day, and the UPS guy came in, and you're like, I'm King David, and I was like, but I love that because my son, as you mentioned, is such an alpha, and I'm so proud of that. And I think we're living in a time where, you're married with beautiful daughters, and I know you're a wonderful provider. So I just want to talk about that because while a lot of women, we're finding today that there are not a lot of these like kings out there, that men have been kind of essentially, unfortunately, especially in the US, a little bit emasculated, right? And there's this movement in spirituality that is calling for more men to kind of wake up and heal. So just tell me about that. Has that always been your mentality? Have you always been so confident? And like, where does that come from?
Yeah, I think it's always been like that ever since I've been in kindergarten. Actually, I would stand on that little hill, and I would scream like, I'm the king here.
Yes, I love it.
And of course, I would also always get into fights to show my dominance,
Sure.
especially if there was someone that could be a threat or some competition.
Yeah.
So that has always been in me. And when the UPS guy came and he asked me for my name, yeah, I liked the biblical story of King David. And when I watch these Roman Empire movies, I always admire a king. And I think we need a king. We need alpha people, but we also need followers. As we speak, there's always balance in life, whether it's on your body working out, or if it's we need people that run a business. You need an alpha mentality for that.
Right.
But then you also need the people that can follow. Well, you can't have many alphas. There can only be one alpha.
Right.
And so I think both is necessary. And so yeah, it has always been in me. And I just love the name King David.
Yeah.
So when I'm at Starbucks, I'm saying King David, and I love them hear my name call out King David. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
I love it.
So yeah.
Well, you mentioned religion, and that's important too. And I think we're entering into a time where people are feeling a little bit more safe to talk about that. I think it's something you've always been proud of, right? Like you said, you
Absolutely.
don't decorate for Halloween, but you're ready for Christmas. And what were you going to say before we started this? Are you going to go bigger this year for Christmas?
Yeah. So as you mentioned that, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. He's my savior, and I don't celebrate Halloween, because just based on my faith, it's from the enemy, it's the evilness, and I just don't condone that.
Right.
But Christmas I do. That's obviously the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. So this I do celebrate big, and also that all the attitudes of Jesus Christ, the love and the kindness and the serving part is something that in my studio I'd like to extend.
Yeah.
So even my trainers, I tell them, we appreciate our clients, our members. We want to make them feel valued. We want to make them feel appreciated, and we extend that through the principles of Jesus Christ likeness.
I love that. Yeah, and I, have been on a spiritual path, but also, I don't think I talk about it a lot, but I am, very religious, and I pray every day, especially the past 2 years as I've been in this transition, because I knew, even 6 years since I left my husband, I knew I deserved better than that, how I was being treated. I knew my son deserved better. And then even in my career, midlife, I switched from PR to sales because I knew I deserved better. And it's not always easy, but, it was a lot of things have happened the past maybe even 9 years. Ever since I got Dylan, I remember praying to God, like, please give me this child, and I promise I'll do anything it takes. And
Nice.
I remember praying that Ash Wednesday of 2015, actually, and when and going to confession, and when I was relieved of my sins, I went and bought this, actually. So I call this my absolution bracelet. So I remember it because I had that promise. And even though the past 9 years after having Dylan were very hard, because everything else seemingly got stripped away, right? But every day I thank God that I have my health, my son, my dog, my home, my car,
Absolutely.
and we just start there, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot about in the Bible about like these things that have happened to me the past 2 years. They weren't like punishing me for something I did. They were happening for me. Like they were building character. And that's what I mean by blooming boldly into a queen, because honestly, before this, I had egotistical confidence, and I was not really confident. I would really pretend and like walk in and like ignore people. What is that getting me? That was not getting me any connection.
Right.
And being humbled the past 2 years, having to lose a lot while I was in career transition, humbled me. And even though it was hard, I like thank God, because it built my character. And this person that now who I have become will be with me forever, right? There's a saying that like years from now, that mountain that you're facing is going to be nothing but just a faint, image in the distance. But the person that you become and learning how to conquer that mountain, that stays with you forever. And that is the point of the mountain, right? And so I think that, again, going through that fire and that hardship, but never losing faith either,
Yes.
right, is a big thing. And I think even like we look at Erica Kirk, I mean, that woman
Yeah.
just lost her husband, the father of her two beautiful children, and she stands up there with such grace and such power. I feel almost the Holy Spirit alive within her, you know? And
Absolutely.
that's what we mean, like you said, by in your purpose, and you try to bring it to everywhere you go. And that's the same with me. I don't have it all figured out yet, but I prayed that if the book was meant to get out and help people, that it would. And this podcast is the continuation of that. And if it's meant to get out there, it will. And I think that's all that we can just do the best we can every day, you know.
I agree. Yeah, we are human beings, so we are not perfect, but we can strive for perfection.
Right.
And just doing our best in our services, and also just genuinely helping people.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, you know, it's a scary world we're living in, and another big gratitude of mine is that we live in Florida. You know, Palm Beach County, Palm Beach Gardens, Jupiter. We're very lucky.
It's the place to be.
Yes. I also consider it a bit of a bubble as a parent, right?
Yeah.
So like starting to go travel in the world, I do think a lot more carefully about where we're going to go, right? So how are you doing in raising two daughters in today's world? And you know, I know I think it starts at home, and I know you know that too. So so how are you raising them really in this community and in life in general?
Yeah, well, I'm very grateful to be here in Florida. It is a beautiful place to be, and I so the way we raise our children, again, these things that I mentioned before, from Jesus Christ, I try to implement them into my children as well. So things like dignity, and things like what's the other word I'm looking for? Well, just doing the right thing, and also explaining what is right from wrong. Integrity. That's what word I was actually looking for. And just going with love and kindness through the world, but then also accountability and responsibility. I think those are all things, fundamental tributes that we need to install into our actions, but also raising our children. And so my kids, I have them in dance school, and in what's the other one called, ballet. They play piano. I try to give them the best we try to give them the best we can, my wife and me, but overall, like, we bring them to church, and the fundamental things we need in life, I try to install them. So just loving on them and caring for them, I think that's really the key.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. And do you see the world as a place where your daughters can grow up to become wives and also make something of themselves in the world?
I think we can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certainly, like here in West Palm Beach Gardens. I think it might be easier. It is a great place to be. It's a great place to raise children. But I think that mindset we can install anywhere, because it's a mindset with attributes that can, we don't have to live in a certain place to have certain characters.
Right. And then, so what about for you? So what, aside from, you said you do this workout now twice a week, how else do you stay healthy? So what are some of your practices with nutrition and any other hobbies?
Yeah, so nutrition is about 70% for the aesthetics and also for your health.
Okay.
So, I try to avoid processed foods and toxins. I reduce my carbs, lots of protein, and then of course my workouts and cardio training is very important too. So I work out with the EMS training once, maximum twice a week for 20 minutes. Okay. And again, it's too good to be true, but it's true and good. And then I still love to teach Zumba. I'm a dancer. I grew up with it, and I love to instruct and make people happy and share energy.
Yeah.
So I teach once a week a Zumba fitness class.
Okay.
And then and that's about it. Sometimes I go to a group fitness class where I just experience bar. I love bar.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's mainly full of women. I walked in and I thought it was a cardio class, but the instructor, he said, "No, stay here," because I was about to walk out. And I said, "Fine, okay, I stay there." And I absolutely loved it. It's low impact on the joints. It's great strength as well. Great for your core. It's just an overall great strength training with endurance. So again, for me, I take classes or teach a class mainly for cardio purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like walking on a treadmill.
Right.
It's an unphysiological movement. The floor doesn't move beneath us, right? So I like to dance, and dancing also brings coordination and cardio all in one, and sharing love and energy.
Yeah.
So those are the things I do. For my strength training, I do my EMS training, and then I dance for my cardio.
I love it.
Yeah.
So no running, so more dance, less.
No,
less
I don't like running, because running is a constant pounding, and if and that constant same pounding will put damage on your joints. I would prefer to do sprinting. You burn more fat anyways, burn more calories, and you have a high impact, which causes your muscles to contract, so fast twitch fibers. So it's almost like strength training, but it's a very short time, like 8 or 10 seconds, full out sprinting, and then resting for 3-4 minutes, and then repeating it again.
Okay.
So that I would do instead of just running. I do not condone or in favor of running.
Yeah, no, I've actually started walking on the beach, and I've liked that.
That's okay.
Really
going
good.
for a walk,
barefoot,
absolutely.
And like the grounding aspect of it.
Yes.
And it can be hard sometimes. It's interesting. This summer I got out there every day, and every day the beach looks different. Because it's really cool. Right. Okay, and then what else? Like what else do you do in terms of, like, I mean, we're both entrepreneurs and we're parents, so what do you do just to get some time to yourself? Do you meditate? Do you pray? Do you yoga?
Well, I pray every day.
Okay.
I mean, I start my day with prayers, unless I'm running late.
Yeah.
But if it's not in the morning before the day starts, it's going to be sometime during the day, and sometimes even while I'm driving. So yeah, prayer is absolutely my priority. Prayers are very, very powerful.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to what you pray, and you stick to it, you actually can check off your list of your prayers. So prayers are extremely powerful. But what was the question again?
And then do you meditate?
Yeah, that's my form.
That's your form of prayer.
prayers,
yeah.
Yes.
And then what else you do just to take that time to yourself if you feel like you need to ground yourself?
Right. So then I love the sauna. I love the sauna, and I love cold plunging, and also the hot tub.
Yeah.
Or I just love to just go to the beach and ground. So I put my feet into the sand and get a little bit of sun, and it just helps me recharge, because we as entrepreneurs have to really put in the work to keep everything running and to lead. Right. So you have to have the energy.
Right.
And sometimes if I don't recharge, then I'm draining myself, and that little bit of energy that I'm putting in doesn't get me the results that I need. So if I recharge for 1 or 2 hours, now I'm fully recharged, and the energy that I put in brings me much more results.
Yeah.
So it is very important to get that balance in.
That's so interesting that you said that, because when my former life of being a publicist in New York, I was constantly running on empty. I also used to have an eating disorder, so it's almost like I felt like I deserved a prize by not eating all day, right? And then I would go to the bars and drink. I mean, it was so bad on my body. And part of becoming kings and queens is to nourish yourself, and you've got to protect the vessel, right? If I'm supposed to be strong, which I pray for every day to continue to get me through and lead my son, I need to nourish myself, and I've
Yes.
made that a priority. Sometimes I might wait until my son gets home for my big meal, but that's okay. Then we do it together, and there's a candle, and I make an effort to take care of myself, because we can't keep going on empty.
Yeah, and with that nutrition, while we're speaking spiritually, you also want a spiritual nutrition.
Right.
So in my case, with my faith, it would be the Word of God. That's my spiritual nutrition. But then also, of course, you want physical nutrition, and there you just want to make sure you avoid the toxins, and you get the nutrients that your body needs. So,
Right.
educate yourself on it, and if you don't know it, then find help.
Yeah, for me, eating plant-based has been really good, because I have a bad esophagus, and it'll tell me as soon as I eat something that's bad for me. So it's almost a blessing in a sense. Plant-based and like more smaller meals throughout the day is better for me.
Okay, yeah.
So what about what's next for BodyStreet? Are you going to be opening any other locations, or what's on your brain as an entrepreneur?
Well, the vision, of course, is to be statewide.
Oh, wow.
And the big vision is to go nationwide. So
Wow.
I do have big dreams, and I'm pushing for it. But at the same time, I take one step at a time.
Right.
So right now, the focus is my current location and my members and clients. So making sure we keep growing, but also taking care of the members and clients. And as I grow, costs go up as well, right?
Sure.
But income comes in as well. But of course, a variable income, but fixed costs go higher.
Okay.
So I need to make sure we have good trainers with the same philosophy. So to grow, I need a good team.
Sure.
And those are I would say, challenges right now.
Right.
Right. So putting a good team together and growing as a team, and then that will help us to grow the studio, and by that we can then expand into more new places, and keep growing.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And what about membership? So what does that look like? Are they different packages, or can they join for a whole year?
Yeah. So we have packages of one package, basically 10 sessions.
Okay.
They're $950, so $95 a session. And then we have a 3-month membership, a 6-month membership, and a 12-month membership. The prices would vary per session between $65 and $85 a session. So of course, the longer the commitment will bring the price down. And so I always usually tell the clients, hey, start out with 2-3 months, get to see the results, but also get to know the trainers, get familiar with us. Let's break the ice, and then you'll go ahead and you'll switch over to a 6-month or a 12-month membership.
Okay, perfect. And what are some of the member benefits? Because I actually have been seeing that in your email lately, that there's some benefits like around town if we're a member.
Yeah, so if you're a member, we collaborated with Stretch Lab and with Beam. So Stretch Lab, as it's stretch, right? You have a one-on-one session where they take care of your body, stretching yourself, which is as important as strength training, right? It's all about flexibility in your joints, but then of course the muscle also has to work. So we want that hand in hand. And then Beam is a red light sauna. So that's where we're talking about that balance, right? De-stressing yourself, getting toxins out of your body, recharging. These different lights have all kinds of different benefits, whether it's to hype yourself up, whether it's to actually calm down, whether it's to get out of depression. I mean, you have all kinds of great benefits. So with being a member at BodyStreet, you get a 15% discount at one of these.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
love it. That's
that's
very
great.
smart. It's really good to.
And just now for October, we also have a 20% discount
Okay.
for all our memberships. And with the new memberships, you also get one annual free 3D scan, which is basically an assessment that gives you a picture of of how you look right now, your measurements, your fat and muscle mass, so we can see the progress that you've been making.
Oh, nice.
And one thing I can guarantee you is, if you come consistent, you will see results.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever had abs, and I'm almost 45 years old, so I have to credit you for that. All right, so where can my guests find you?
So we're in Jupiter, Abacoa. You can find us on BodyStreetJupiter.com. Our phone number is 561-406-3087. Call us, text us, email us through our website, and you're more than welcome to do a trial session and get started.
Yes, let's do it. Well, abs by Christmas.
Exactly.
All right, thank you so much, David.
Thank you, too.
It was such a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you.